This is a short tutorial on the use of HCA's website. As you can see, I have our website opened up at hca-nys.org, and the top menu up here is where most of the content members need can be accessed. So for instance, our events page, if you go to upcoming events, you can see a listing of upcoming HCA programs and events, such as our Senior Financial Managers Retreat. These are all in chronological order, so if you click the header, you will get the registration information. So you go back to the events page, and then scroll back to our home page, and show you this other key feature of our menu, News, Advocacy, and Policy. This probably has the most important sub-menus underneath it. So if you actually just hover over News, Advocacy, and Policy and scroll down, there's a series of categories here that are public content. So HCA testimony, some policy positions, news items, etc. All of this content that you see here in this sub-menu is floated through the Hca blog and categorized as such. So if you look at the Hca blog here in the center of the bottom of the page and hit Read All Articles, all the recent postings that Hca has posted in those categories are featured here in chronological order, such as our recent comments on the hospice proposed rule and some advocacy messages and other items. You can click Load More here to see more items, and it loads some more news items and content going a little bit further back. Each of these, again, is categorized by blog category. So if you want to look at items such as letters and comments, click Letters and Comments, and those items will be filtered out and presented on the Hca blog for you to review. We also have our sepsis page here that has a link to our Stop Sepsis at Home initiative. Just taking a few seconds to load, and there's our sepsis webpage. I'm going to go back to HCA's homepage, and just to reiterate, these items that I have showed you thus far are public items, so items that are available to the public to look at and view. So I'm back at HCA's homepage, and I will show you that once we log in, up here at the top right, we'll have a series of new menu items. I think right here we have about 7 of them. There'll be more that will appear in here, as well as a new item called the Hca Data Page that will be to the right of the sepsis toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and click Login. And this is where you will put your username and password. In this case, I've created a generic one called Hca User with the password Hca User 2018. And I'll click Login. After doing so, you'll see that the Hca Data menu item appears. It was previously invisible. That's a members-only page, as are some new items that appear in the Hca blog, such as our recent edition of our newsletter, the Situation Report, and some other news items that are for members only. So if you are looking for recent content on Hca's website, the best suggestion is to look under the Hca blog and hit Read All Articles, provided that you are logged in. Sometimes you have to hit refresh on your browser for the username and password to continue to load. And you can see here the most recent edition of our newsletter and a series of other items that are both public and for members only. I do want to point members to the Hca Data Page, which is a very important user page for members of Hca only. This page has a series of benchmarking data that has been compiled by Hca, including some data resources on Hca statistical reports, Hca cost reports, Medicare data, our recent financial condition reports, MCOR data, and more that can be used in your benchmarking with your review of your financial information for your organization. So this is a great page that is only available if you're logged in, and again, it's at Hca Data here at the top right. I'll go back to the home page, and just to show you that those menu items, so if you go down to News and Policy, you'll see that there are policy memos now, a newsletter link, and a series of other items that are not otherwise visible. Before I showed you there were 7. Now there are several more menu items that are available to you now that you're logged in. The same goes with the HCA blog, which I think should be the go-to place for members who may be looking for information that they do not have access to or they have missed within a recent time period. So those are the core features of HCA's website. If you have any questions, feel free to contact HCA's Communications Director, Roger Noyes, at 518-810-0665.